What's up, y'all? This is Brave, and I'm back with another review of Ready to Love. Y'all, season 10. They were terrible the entire season. And now here comes all of the mess. Baby, let's go ahead and get right into this reunion part 1. First things first, I gotta be honest, I didn't even pay attention to nobody's outfit because from the fashions that they gave us throughout the show, I knew I had nothing to look forward to when it came to everybody's outfits and their hairstyles. So moving on. We start with Angie's package, right? We got her segment out the way. First of all, we see that Cam and Angie, they met up at somebody's park bench where he was able to tell her that he wasn't going to pick her because we still having this conversation about these busted windows. Y'all, I'm tired of that conversation. It makes absolutely no sense that man went so hard about some busted windows that didn't even happen to him. Okay? So, on stage, she admits that she busted out some windows. I think it was somebody's house windows 5 years ago. And then we go around the room because now we add Eddie, Hussein, and Cam on stage. And they're asking, oh, do y'all think she's changed? Only Cam feels like this woman is still the same as she was 5 years ago. Okay? Now, here's the thing. I'm with Angie. When she said Cam wanted to hear whatever he wanted to hear, that is very true. Because I'm like, dude, the girl said, yeah, she's done that before. I don't know what else you want her to say. Like, do you want her to be like, but Cam, I'll never do it again. I would never burst your windows out. Is that what you want to happen? Scoot back, buddy. Scoot back. So, at this point, y'all, again, I'm annoyed with this conversation. Because my whole thing is, Cam is kind of setting it up to make it seem like she just randomly gets mad one day and she's busting out windows. To me, it sounds like something detrimental must have happened in the relationship that causes her to react in busting out windows. And like I said before, usually I feel like I've only heard of women busting out windows when they get cheated on, when a man has done them like completely dirty in some type of way, not just a random act on a Tuesday, just because she got bored, okay? Nonetheless, I just kind of feel like if you do right by Angie, it sounds like you won't have to worry about her busting out no windows. Now, will you? Now, here we go with Tommy. He gonna ask her what she need to work on. What do these niggas need to work on? Hussein still need to work on communication. Cam needs to work on how to pick and choose because he literally had 3 women all the way to the end. Are we okay right now? But you want to ask Angie what she need to work on? I didn't like that. So she's like, well, I guess I can be softer. And Eddie's like, well, I like the strong side of her. Here's the thing. I realized that Eddie likes strong women. He doesn't care if you're opinionated or anything like that because he said the same thing about Deanna. And according to all the other men, Deanna was too strong for them. Remember? So I'm just like, maybe that's the type of woman that he likes. However, I don't like when he continued that conversation that he was saying, oh, yeah, because, women, they the breadwinners. I said, sir, I don't think those two things correlate. Her being strong don't have to make her a breadwinner. Are you just trying to be lazy? What's going on? What's going on, buddy? Nonetheless, we learned that, what's her name? Angie, she has a connection with Khalil. I said, wait. Those two people never even looked each other's way the entire season. We ain't never seen nothing happen between them two. But according to her, he shot his shot and he scored. Y'all, what does that even mean? Does that mean he asked her out on a date and she said yes? Or did he smash? I'm confused on what the scored part is. Nonetheless, Cam, he's literally like, oh yeah, he ain't worried about it because Khalil can have that. What was that attitude? What was that energy? The way Cam said he can have it, as if Angie was just like somebody that was ran through or something. The energy of Cam is off, okay? It's very strange. Khalil, I'm giving you a side eye though, because I get it. You were not sitting in the area where everybody was to hear what Angie said. But the way that he kept acting like he didn't know what was going on the entire episode was pissing me off. Him being like, oh, what's going on? What she say? What she say about me? Negro, you talking to her. What are we doing right now? Moving on. We got to get to the next segment. So, actually, before we get to the segment, we see backstage, and it is Hussein and Rose. They're talking, and she says that, we were supposed to be walking in here together. She walks off to go calm her nerves. Then she start crying. I said, girl, what the hell is going on? She talks to Tay. Now, she feels like they both fucked her over. And Tay tells her that, she basically needs to turn savage on them because they don't deserve her love. And y'all, Tay is giving the advice. Tay, I needed you to give yourself some advice because how did you choose Cisco? I'm confused. And y'all, do y'all think that this conversation with Tay put the battery in Rose's back to do all that she did? Or do y'all think she was going to do that anyway? Let me know. Because, baby, we get to Hussein's package. And his connections, of course, were Rose and Angie. Now, while they're playing it back, and he's talking about his childhood trauma in the video, we see Rose crying and rubbing his back. Keep that in mind, okay? Because once I brought up the whole baby father situation with her, oh, baby, her energy completely changed. Rose, she says that, she's emotionally all over the place when Tommy asked. And Hussein says that he wants to know the truth about her baby daddy. And I'm like, what is the truth part that you want to hear? Because, again, I don't understand how we are penalizing this girl because her ex from 17 years ago was in prison, okay? Because in my mind, it don't matter if that man was he could have been in Timbuktu. He could have been in Jersey City. He could have been in LA. He could have been he could be living next door to her in Philly. It sounds like she don't talk to the man. So what are we talking about? So Rose is basically saying how, she don't think about her ex and that situation being dead, right? And again, I just feel like nobody is actually listening to Rose when she says that she done with that man, okay? That girl said she was a single mother for 17 years, and I feel like she should have reiterated that. I haven't dealt with that man for 17 years. I don't understand how that is relevant. But however, the way she approached things in this whole situation, crazy work. So Tommy, he says that, Hussein felt like you could have told him sooner. And then he mentions how Hussein is like, well, everything was just moving so fast. But, we knew Kiera's situation. Nigga, I need for you to stop bringing up Kiera. Kiera's situation is very, very different than Rose's. Rose ain't been with that man in 17 years. It sounded like they had a baby and he never came around until maybe later and tried to build something with his son. At least that's what it sounded like. Kiera was with her ex for 12 years. Okay? I think that Kiera's last relationship was with her ex. I mean, with her baby daddy. So I think that is very different. You being with that man for 12 years versus you sleeping with some man and then produced a baby and he never came back around. Those are two very, very different situations. I understand why Kiera should be telling people where her baby daddy at. Okay? Now, Rose, she feels like they both need to share the responsibility because he never asked questions about her baby daddy. And here's the thing, y'all. I gotta be honest. I do agree with that. I feel like Hussein and Cam, they found out that her child was 17 years old. They figured out, oh, baby, we ain't even got to step in as a stepdaddy. Bet. Once her son goes off to college, I ain't got to worry about that child no more. And they left it at that. Because I feel like if you was really getting to know somebody and they have a child, wouldn't that be one of the questions that you ask? But Hussein, what was you asking people? What was you talking about to people? Oh, right. Because you couldn't even get on the phone to text people and call people back. Whatever. So, y'all, we can see Angie, she's agreeing with Rose about how he didn't do his job asking no questions about the baby daddy. Right? But then Tommy, he completely ignores what Angie's doing over there, and he goes to Cam. Like, oh, what do you think about this? And he don't think nothing about it. He thinks nothing about the fact that that girl's baby's father is in jail. And that just brought it back to, then why did y'all have Cam be the person to talk to her at the end? It should have been Hussein being man enough to send that girl home. But I guess, okay? Here's the thing. I honestly feel like Cam was more mad that she was sharing a room with Hussein than anything else, okay? Rose, she then says that she feels like she was played and how she was holding him down. I said, first of all, I'm going to need for you to lower them levels, girl. You got way too much bark in your throat right now, because the way she was like, and I was holding him down. In what way? Like, I'm not trying to be funny, but like, you was holding him down to do what? To be on a TV show? Girl, what the fuck is you talking about? Also, I just want to know, when was you really holding him down when you got up in that goddamn vault and you told all those other ladies how you had the best connection with Cam and how you know him on all these other levels? Baby, you was not all about Hussein. So what are you talking about, Rose? Let's not try to rewrite history. Like, what's going on? Also, I'm just trying to understand how you talking about how you was so down for Hussein when you was buying Cam t-shirts. So what we talking about? Did you buy him something too? Was it like a 2 for 10 situation? Rose, what's going on, girl? So she again feels like she was playing the entire process, but Tommy's like, no, I can't let you say that because y'all only had an issue with this whole child's father situation. So Rose and Hussein, they get to arguing, okay? Going back and forth. He talking about, because my process is my process. When I tell you I'm so tired of them saying the word process, especially the men, I don't know, something about it irritates me. Now, Cam, he's under his breath. Like, it's not his job to bring it up. It's not his job to bring it up. I'm sorry, if you want to get to know this lady, it absolutely is your job to know things about her. Or should I say learn things about her. He could have asked. He absolutely could have asked. Out of nowhere, out of thin air, Rose then drops a bomb. Out of nowhere, she says that Hussein was incarcerated. He was in jail. I said, whoa, wait, what is happening? And she's like, and you're coming at me about this. Here's the thing. Even if he was in jail, Rose, the way he's coming at you, it's more like you did the crime, okay? I have to say it. I do think that it's unfair that Rose is being penalized because her ex went to jail. That is a crazy situation that's happening right now. But Hussein says that he did not go to jail, okay? He said that never happened. And I'm just like, well, Rose, where'd you get all that from? Oh, he goes further to tell us that something happened in college, but he was never arrested for it. No, he was never in jail for it. Maybe he got arrested. They let him out. Child, I don't know. Some foolishness. But then he's like, this is why men, they can't tell women stuff because they use it against them. And I'm just like, yeah, but also at the same time, you're holding something against her that ain't got nothing to do with her either. Like, it's whatever. Okay. So he then goes on to say that the reason why he self-eliminated was because he didn't want to choose Angie as like a backup. Like, he didn't want to make it seem like she was second choice. Sir, according to you, you sat in that vault, that lounge, whatever the hell it was. You sat up in there talking about how you can handle her and all the other crap you were saying. So yeah, you were playing games because hell, if we want to be honest, you didn't really like Angie. You didn't. A lot of y'all just wanted to stay on the show, and that is why y'all continue to date people that did not match y'all at all. But we're going to go ahead and move on. Now, y'all, we move on to this segment that I feel like it could have been just a glimpse. We did not need any of this. We did not need multiple people sitting at the couch. None of this. True. First of all, I completely forgot all about that lady. I did not care about her, the Google Doc number, the fact that she was lying about her age. I do not care. And also, girl, why are you mad that Khalil wants to date a woman within a certain age range? Especially considering he wants to have kids within the next 5 years. I'm not understanding. But also, now that makes me question Khalil. Because I'm like, wait a second. So you mean to tell me that you all up in Angie's face? Y'all got something going on? Isn't Angie like 40, 41? So are you expecting her to have a baby at 45, 46? Why are you playing in Angie's face at this point? But again, people aren't dating intentionally. Because we would rather just date people for fun. And I get it. It is fun. But the way y'all have presented yourselves on the show as if y'all are really dating intentionally when you're not, is crazy. Nonetheless, we're going to go ahead and move on. They played this game of who said what, and I did not care. However, I did laugh when Kiera said that Cam gives Ninja Turtle vibes. I said, oh yeah. That man, he definitely gives Turtle. It's definitely giving Franklin. But moving on. We get to Fritz's segment, okay? And there were a few things that pissed me off about this one. We have Fritz saying how he's never been poly, he ain't poly, all these things, because he just follows the hashtag. None of the ladies believe him. And then Tommy, he kind of sets this up as if Fritz had an early connection with Sahara. And I'm like, Tommy, when did that happen? They never had a connection. Sahara was asking him like, oh, you always sending me like the same text messages, right? Because that was a whole argument that he kept copying and pasting, right? My whole thing is Fritz never liked Sahara. And I feel like, Tommy, you should have held him accountable to be like, yo, you should have been upfront with Sahara because the way you were talking in your confessionals, you never liked that girl. So why didn't you tell her, hey, I like you as a friend? And yes, I'm sending you good morning texts, but that's just me sending these text messages to check on you and see how you are. That is what should have been said. I don't know why we played in everybody's face making it seem like there was some type of connection between Fritz and Sahara when there never was. Like, what are we talking about? But right, Tommy never holds the men accountable for anything. Anyways, Fritz was playing games. He was playing games. And again, Tommy did not hold anybody accountable. And this is what pissed me off. You literally let this man tell you on stage that he thought he was there just to have fun. But when Sahara told them ladies what that man said, everybody called her a liar and made it seem like she lied about what she said. Tommy, that was your time to be like, and a few of you ladies owe Sahara an apology because he clearly said that he was there for fun. He was there to play games. Like, I'm not understanding what's happening right now. Then we got Fritz over here lying about how he wasn't trying to get Sahara voted out. Yes, you absolutely were. You were trashing Sahara every chance you got, whether that been around the other guys or in the confessional. Like, also, another thing, a lot of the guys had negative things to say about Sahara. They never even gave her a chance to get to know her because they felt like she was a ghetto girl. But right, we don't want to have that conversation either. How basically a lot of women who have come on this show, they are looked at as less than because they're a bit rough around the edges. They're considered around the way girls or ghetto girls. And baby, don't let them have a little bit of weight on them because y'all don't like big girls either. Again, the show needs restructuring. But back to it. At one point, I think they were talking about how Cam was defending Sahara. And baby, why did Cam even jump in? Because out of nowhere, here comes Shanice. I said, girl, what are you doing here? What is happening? So Shanice, she's calling Cam fake and how basically he texts her and asks who he should pick. And Sahara's name was never mentioned. Now, I find that interesting because I'm like, wait, Sahara has always been in his tops. So when was she not there? I'm confused. He wasn't really checking for her all the way at the end because she wanted him to choose. I'm like, so what's happening here? Baby, she called Cam out for playing games. And y'all, she is going hard at this point. And I'm like, girl, wait, what's all of this? Did Cam hurt you? Was you on the list too? What's going on? Oh, wait. We learned she's fighting her man's battles because Fritz is her man. Girl, I guess. Then she throws a curveball for me because she said, yeah, because Cam was trying to be my boy toy when I was going on a vacation. I said, wait, what now? He talking about it was a joke. And I don't think it was a joke. I think Cam was trying to get a free trip because I don't trust Cam. I'm sorry, I don't. It's definitely giving, he probably said it. Now, y'all, I was literally looking at that stage and I said, baby, why is Coley sitting here? Why is she here? Be so for real. Are we going to address her and her drinking problem? Or no? Because if not, get her off the stage. Yeah. That whole scene was a hot mess. Shanice, I hope you're happy with Fritz. But also at the same time, like, girl, he had you looking crazy out here because you were like, he told me this, that, another in the lounge when really he was there to play games. But whatever. We get backstage and Sahara is asking Cam, like, what is Shanice talking about? And Cam said that the conversation with Shanice happened when she was already going off and saying that they were done. I'm confused because when did this happen? This man said it was before the date that they had on the boat. Y'all, when was Sahara done with him? Sahara, yes, she may have been like, you need to choose. Hey, you need to go ahead and choose. You still have 3 ladies. But she was never off him. So I'm just like, Cam, what are you talking about? She literally didn't drop your ass like a bad habit until the very end when you met with her sister and she was like really pissed off about it. I'm just confused. Cam is really trying to make it seem like Shanice is making it seem like he's flip-flopping. But I think it is true. I think that man, the way he liked Sahara in private, but not in public, is crazy to me. Okay? So he swears that he was joking about the boy toy comment. And then he says that Shanice just wanted to come over and smash. And I'm just like, okay, this is getting real random. Sahara was like, well, you know what? I want to see those text messages. Baby, we never got to the messages because here comes Angie. She come over here yelling, telling Cam to keep her name out her mouth. Baby, when I tell y'all, I really wish that Will Smith never said that. Because I feel like we hear it so much more since Will Smith told Chris Rock that, keep my wife's name out your mouth. She's over there pissed. And this is what stood out to me. That man said, you don't even know if it's truthful or not. So I'm like, okay, clearly something was said. Let's see what it was. Sahara, she goes to check in on Angie, and basically Angie told Sahara that Rose told her that Cam was talking, saying some stuff about her, and how he basically didn't choose her because she was aggressive with her ex. Y'all, here's the thing. Does it align? For sure. Because if you busted out your ex windows, that does give off aggressive. We just got to be honest here. But also at the same time, it's giving Cam and Rose was pillow talking. Cam and Rose was pillow talking, and he definitely was talking about the other ladies. I can see it. And my whole thing is, I said, Rose, you are so involved in so many things. You got Hussein over there. You got not Rose. You got Cam over there. What's going on? Oh, baby, we gonna get to it. So I was laughing because Sahara was like, well, don't you want to go over there and talk to him and let him lie or find out? Not let him lie. Girl, what? Baby, she know Cam trash. She knows that Cam is playing games. So Angie, she goes to, talk to Cam, and basically he said he never said any of this stuff. Y'all, I think he said it, but whatever. Because the way he was harping on the fact that she busted out a few windows before, I feel like he probably told Rose this, for sure. Like, I definitely feel like he was pillow talking, and Cam is going to deny. Moving on, we get to Cam's connections. Okay? Cam's connection collection. And I'm just confused as to why they tried to set it up and make it seem like this montage was all about Sahara when really it wasn't. So after they run that, we learned that Sahara and Cam, they were trying to make it work. They were trying to, see where this goes outside of the show. However, he wasn't doing his job, y'all. He wasn't on his job. He was not hitting her up. Or if he was, it was just like, good morning. And that was it. He was not really putting in the effort. So it got to the point where she blocked him because he was dragging his feet. Oh, baby, we're going to find out why he was dragging his feet. Because at one point, Tommy is like, oh, well, you got to unblock him. And Sahara was like, okay, maybe I can unblock him. And Tommy's trying to figure out if they can, give it a try. Baby, we learned that Rose, because she done piped up, we learned that Rose and Cam had a few things going on because they dated after the show. And I'm giving her a side eye. I'm like, girl, you just did all this for Hussein and then you dated Cam after the show? And Cam is the one who sent you home? Girl, what? I'm confused. I'm really, really confused. But nonetheless, she's telling Sahara that she needs to be careful with Cam because since they dated, she learned some things. Number one, he's poly. I said, wow, y'all was so worried about Fritz and Cam's right here. That's the first thing. Number two, he's also a cheater. He's cheated on his exes in the past. I said, oh, baby, this is why you're so concerned about what Angie might do. Because if you was to mess around with Angie, cheat on her, you know she gonna bust them windows out. Okay, I see here. I see what's going on. So now, we also learn that he wants to bring another woman into the bedroom. And Rose was like, yeah, I'm not down for that, right? Oh, Cam didn't back down from that. That man literally said if he gets the urge to sleep with someone else, he's not going to do it behind your back. And I'm just like, wait a second. So you mean to tell me that at this point, when you're starting a relationship with somebody, you're letting them know, just giving them a heads up, like, hey, if I want to sleep with somebody, I probably will sleep with them. But I'm telling you now, just so that you know, if it come up in the future, we good. That's crazy. Number two, you never mentioned that on the show, ever. Like, you never mentioned anything about another lady in the bedroom. When everybody was talking about Fritz and his poly lifestyle, baby, you should have piped up. Y'all talking about Rose should have piped up about a baby daddy who's in jail. No, you should have piped up about wanting to have other women join you in your relationship. Like, what are we watching, y'all? Like, seriously, what are we watching? You know what? Now it makes so much sense why that man had 3 connections, okay? This man had 3 connections trying to see who was with it, okay? And what's crazy is that poly seems to be like the thing on this season, even though it's very hush-hush, because we had Fritz, he's giving poly, what's his name? Hussein. His friend came out of nowhere. Ain't nobody even asked him. And he let us know that he's poly. I would not be surprised if birds of a feather is flocking together and Hussein feels the same way. And now we got Cam. Baby, I don't know what is going on in Philly. Nonetheless, Rose takes it even further, y'all. Because out of nowhere, she's like, oh, and I saw some empty condom wrappers at his house, and those ain't the ones that we was using. Whoa, baby, whoa. The ones that you was using, girl, you was really humping on Cam. You were humping on Cam. But then you want to sit up here and play in our face, whining and crying about how Hussein should have fought for you. Y'all, I'm sorry, but it's giving Rose might have hooked up with both of them. I'm just saying. Girl, it's you can do what you want. You a big girl now. Do whatever you want with it. But it's definitely giving that you hooked up with both of these men. Girl, I guess. Nobody was expecting that bomb that she just dropped. But baby, Rose was not done. Because then she asked him, oh, and are you expecting or not? Now, girl, usually when people say expecting, is usually to the mother. But she's saying that to Cam because basically he probably has a baby on the way, according to Rose. Girl, well, I mean, he did use condoms. Considering you found some empty wrappers. So maybe he ain't got a baby on the way. But y'all, I was not expecting all of this from Rose. Y'all already knew I did not care for Rose from day one because I felt like she was definitely giving pick me. She just wanted to be chosen. She was always trying to make it seem like she was the greatest gift that God ever made for a man to have. And girl, you are unraveling. We are literally watching you unravel. Now, I will say one of my favorite parts of this episode was probably Angie on the sidelines thanking God that she didn't end up with Cam. Okay? I said, Angie, I think you winning in the situation. Because you didn't end up with neither one of your choices who ain't giving much. Okay? Now, y'all, as they pan to the people in the background, because, you know, they're in a whole different room. They in backstage somewhere. Y'all know who was pissing me off? Khalil. Khalil was pissing me off. Because after everything that Rose said, he kept saying, wait, what's going on? What the fuck is going on? Nigga, follow along. Are you not hearing what's happening? Child, we gonna see what happens on part 2 of this reunion. It's giving ain't nobody together, okay? But we gonna see. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about this episode. Y'all think Rose did too much? What do y'all think about what everybody had on? I just want to know y'all thoughts, okay? Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I will talk to y'all in my next review. Bye, guys.